It has been a full year since I told my husband that he is only the father of my children and not my soulmate at a block party. It sounds like the pretext for a nasty joke, but the joke is on me. Ashley, Justin's fiancée, is the exact kind of lady I used to make fun of. You get the idea. CrossFit meal preps truly love farmers markets and are kind, which strangely makes it worse because the kids like her. Before I go any further, Emma told me when she got home last week that Ashley had taught her how to braid her hair the cool way, like it was some revolutionary skill I never bothered to learn. That hurt more than I'd like to admit. But if you enjoy stories about real-life drama, poor choices, and the kind of emotional chaos you can't look away from, you won't want to miss Hit. Click the subscribe button to see more tales like this, one about lessons learned the hard way. Sometimes you don't realize what something was truly worth until you lose it. Returning to my mess. Despite our imperfections, Justin and I had a rhythm and lived our lives according to a checklist during our 8 years of marriage. I felt that being married, buying a house, and having children would be sufficient. But eventually I became restless. Not unhappy, just bored. And bored people begin to pick apart things that don't need to be fixed. After years of sharing bank, accounts, and dropping off kids at school, his laugh was too loud, his jokes were too corny, and his shirts were always a little wrinkled. I told myself that he wasn't the one, whatever that even means. The block party was just like any other. Neighborhood gathering with friends nodding along to my complete complaints as if they were gospel. I can't even recall what preceded it, but I heard myself say loud enough for Justin and probably half the block toe here, he's just the father of my kids, not my soulmate. The words hung in the air like smoke from a cheap grill. Justin just gave me this look, not hurt, not angry, just empty. He nodded, turned around, and resumed flipping hamburgers as if I hadn't just set our marriage on fire in a single sentence. I thought we'd laugh about it later when we'd actually had worse arguments, but we didn't. That night, he slept on the couch, and the following night too. A week later, he moved out, and at first I was defiantly good riddance. I promised myself that I would rediscover who I was outside of being someone's wife, but every day the home became more silent. No more dad jokes at dinner, no more clinking of his coffee mug in the morning, just me. The kids and the echo of my own conceit when he started dating Ashley, but she stuck around the kids, and Justin smiled differently around her lighter freer, as if he wasn't carrying the weight of my ongoing disappointment anymore. I remember the first time I saw them together, at the kids' soccer game, she was sitting next to him laughing at something he said, and it was the laugh that got me. It wasn't forced or polite. It was genuine, the kind of laugh I hadn't given him in years. I tried to ache. I believed I deserved some grand romantic romance, but I tossed it away since Justin knew all of that. It turns out that I had it all along. I was just too blind to notice it. As if it were commonplace, the children began to insinuate Ashley's name into discussions. Ashley is the best pancake maker. Last week, Emma left her school folder at Justin's place. I offered to pick it up, and when I got there, Ashley answered the door with that same annoyingly perfect smile and invited me in. I nearly declined, but curiosity and perhaps a little masochist overcame me. Ashley helped me with my science project. I grinned through gritted teeth and nodded as though it didn't bother me, but it still does. Family portraits on the walls couldn't replicate the warmth and coziness of their home. Children's artwork on the refrigerator. It felt like home, the kind I used to have. I saw our son laughing in the kitchen over something on his phone, and he looked up at me and nodded politely. Nothing more, no anger, no sadness, just a man who had moved on. I stared at the folder untouched on the passenger seat during red lights, feeling the full weight of my mistakes. I had pushed his love to the limit and expected him to fight for me. But he left, and the worst part was that he was right up until now. A year later, I'm sitting in the same house with the same walls, but everything feels different. The silence is heavier, filled with the echo of words I can't take back. If you've read this far, my advice is to not confuse comfort with complacency. We share real-life lessons like this every day because sometimes hearing someone else's mistakes is the wake-up call we all need. If you found this story relatable or eye-opening, please subscribe to our channel. Sometimes people will walk away from a test to see if it's real, and they won't look back. Thank you for listening.